Dennis, we've been talking quite a bit about how overwhelmed you've been, and it's been really hard for you to figure out where to create space for downtime, breathing. And you have such a busy schedule. It's no wonder you feel as stressed as you've been explaining. So one of the things that we'll do today is talk about maybe something really simple that could be helpful for you. And I want to give you a choice because I have I'm ready to teach one of two skills. So I'll tell you about the skills, and then you can pick which one. So one of them is a simple breathing exercise, and another one is related to you're just having a hard time saying no. So the simple breathing exercise, really you could do at any point during the day, anytime that you might feel stressed. It could help you reduce that. And the other one is sort of a bigger picture kind of thing. So what are you interested in most?
Maybe you could tell me about the bigger picture one.
That one's making more sense to you right now. So the bigger picture one is related to, so you have a hard time saying no. And especially when your manager asks you to work an additional shift.
Right.
And so what we would end up doing is just sort of practicing how you could say no, different ways that you could say no. I know you have a really hard time saying it, and I understand that part of it has to do with you wanting the money. And at the same time, the last session, what we talked about is maybe that's an area for you to practice something different. So let's first talk a little bit about what the conversation looks like when your manager asks you to work an additional shift. So what kinds of things does she say?
Well, she'll say like, look, I know you're so reliable. When people call in, they can't make it. I know I can count on you. And I know you have a very busy program with college and your 18 credits. But I know you also need the money, and we can count on you. So can you cover the shift? And it's like, yeah, I could use the extra money,
right?
But the hours, there's not enough hours in the day. But I can't. It's like I can't say no because I don't want to let her down.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've said a couple of things that we can weave into a practice. One is some simple words that you could use. You just said it. Well, I don't really want to let you down. Another is, you've already said it several times, I really don't have the time. So it's both of those, like you really don't want to let her down and you don't have the time. So those are both facts at this point.
Right.
Okay, so that's one approach that you could use. Another is to take, before you say anything, take a deep breath and say, I need to think about it.
Okay.
Which one of those resonates more?
I think the first one. I think I would probably have an easier time just being straightforward and honest than having to think about it, because I know with my crazy schedule I've already thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just kind of do a flip here. You told me what your manager might say, and just so that I have the picture in my mind, when does your manager typically ask you to work in an extra shift? over the phone or in person?
It's normally in person.
Okay.
It'll be while I'm on shift or, you know, coming on or going off. Hey,
Uh-huh.
tomorrow so-and-so is not gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, okay.
Could you cover?
Okay, so, what we said was, you're just gonna sort of name some facts. One is, I really don't wanna let you down, and the other is, it's so hard for me to fit in anything else. Okay, so, how is it for you to say those things?
I think I'm okay with that.
Would you say it?
Say, you know, I really don't wanna let you down, and I know you rely on me, but I can't fit it in my schedule. I
Okay.
really just have too much going on.
Okay, so I'm gonna be your manager now, and
Okay.
all you have to do is repeat that. So, now Dennis, Sally isn't able to work tomorrow, and I can always count on you. You know, you're my go-to person. Could you work could you work tomorrow?
Well, I really don't wanna let you down. I know I've done this in the past, but I'm really overwhelmed and I've got a lot going on. There's not enough time in the day, with my schedule,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Well, I really, I wish you could, so I'll call somebody else.
I appreciate that.
So how was that?
That wasn't bad.
Not bad?
No, not bad.
Okay. What's the likelihood that your manager would say, I'll call somebody else?
She'd more than likely pause for a minute, process, because she probably used to me saying, yes, I'd do it. So I think it would probably be a pause more than anything, maybe like a, wow,
Like,
he said
what?
no to
What?
me?
Uh-huh.
Would be more of a likely response, and
Okay.
then more accepting after that.
Okay, so she might even ask you again, oh, come on, Dennis.
Right, and then I'd say, look, I really can't do it. I can't do it. I've done this in the past, but I'm at my wit's end, and I don't wanna let you down, but I'm gonna have to say no.
All right, so I guess I'll talk to somebody else then.
Okay.
So how was that?
It seems like, you know, almost a little frustrated or angry that I said no.
So there's a little to say no,
Mhm.
but you did it.
Right.
In fact, we didn't even have that part. You actually this time took it up a notch and just said, I'm just gonna have to say no.
Mhm.
So there is a part of you that's like, I can't even get no out, but you did this time. Well done. And without our even talking about it, you just said the same thing. Like you didn't change your story. You just said the same thing. And that's what I call the broken record strategy. Yeah, broken record. So you just keep saying the same thing. I know you really want me to do this. I just don't see how I can make it happen. I know you really want me to do this. Just don't think I can make it happen.
And not worry about the response.
Well, that's the other layer too, right? So maybe that's what we can also talk about in here, and see what happens with it. So, how confident, if we talk about what you just practiced, how confident do you feel that you could do that with your manager? Scale of 0 to 10. 10 being like, I got it.
I'd say an 8. I said
Pretty confident.
I think I could do it.
And my guess is that the 8 instead of a 10 has to do with that, what if she reacts
Exactly.
differently? Okay.
I wouldn't wanna let her down, but I'd have to stand my ground because I just can't fit it in and it'd be too much on me.
Yeah, so, maybe that's something for us to explore. We're kind of out of time today, but, let's explore that, the next time. And so, that's something for maybe just think about that, and maybe even notice what happens, when, you kind of pull the broken record strategy out of your back pocket, when your manager asks you. Just sort of notice.
Okay, I'll do that. Appreciate it.
Questions or comments?
No, I think I can definitely do that, and I'll think about it.
Okay.
And when we meet next week.
Okay. So what we talked about was identifying the two parts of you, And you don't even have to go even further than that. And returning to that same, that's the broken record strategy, we're returning to it and saying the same thing. You did really well.